The signs from El-Obeid are clear and unmistakable. Another human rights catastrophe is unfolding in Sudan, this time in the capital of the strategic state of North Kordofan. Civilians have been subjected to siege-like conditions for 18 months, battered by relentless drone strikes as the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces battle for control over areas surrounding the city. My office documented 15 drone strikes on El-Obeid and surrounding areas between 6 and 28 June, which killed at least 45 civilians and injured 41. The actual number of civilian casualties is likely higher. Mr. President, the international community cannot allow a repeat of the widespread atrocities that took place in Samsam camp for displaced people and in Al-Fashar in North Darfur last year. My office assessed that at least 6,000 people were killed in the span of just 3 days when the RSF captured Al-Fashar. We found the RSF and allied militia committed war crimes and crimes against humanity, including mass killings, summary executions, sexual violence, and torture. These crimes were foreseen with repeated warnings by myself and my office, but they were not prevented. This is not a drill. It is a red alert that needs to land on the desks of heads of state and government around the world. Their phones should be running hot in the coming days and weeks with ideas on how to prevent atrocity crimes in El-Obeid and in other places in Kordofan, where the same strategies are being deployed. Reports by my office and others, and this urgent debate, call for strong action at the highest level. The UN Security Council needs to fulfill its responsibilities to prevent atrocity crimes. El-Obeid is a classic case that shows why the use of the veto should be limited, as proposed by France and Mexico more than 10 years ago. All leaders must use their influence to exert pressure on all parties, and particularly the RSF, to stop an offensive on El-Obeid, to end strikes on civilians and essential infrastructure, to stop the flow of weapons, and to comply with their obligations under international law. There also needs to be accountability for the crimes that have been committed. I welcome the continued engagement of the International Criminal Court on Sudan as a path to that end, in addition to efforts based on universal jurisdiction. The safe and voluntary movement of civilians out of El-Obeid must be guaranteed. We urgently need a humanitarian pause to allow for the unhindered delivery of food and humanitarian aid into the city and its surroundings.
Then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.